Thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. If you're in the same corner of the internet that I am, you probably saw this reel go viral a few weeks ago. This amazing cardboard series is by the French artist Jacques Monneraud, and I'm so sorry about my French pronunciation, I cannot. Try my best here. Jacques' work is nothing short of incredible, so for today's Steal Like an Artist video, I'm going to try and recreate it. In order to not put all of my eggs in one basket, I'm going to be making 3 different things. A picture, vaguely inspired by this one here that I saw on his Instagram, and 2 cups that are like inspired by the same style and everything, but I'm just kind of making them up myself. So maybe we can have a nice little juice pitcher situation going on. Clay is actually really lovely to work with. I love a groggy throwing clay. Now I need to add the little pop-out bits, like the cardboard edges. I mean, they look like cardboard edges. I'm just gonna push out a little bump with my finger first. I'm gonna use this tool because it's got kind of like a sharp edge here. Push the corner basically in there. So I've also got this one. The narrow parts. I'm gonna make it as square as possible. Hopefully this is not gonna collapse. I think that's okay. I can clean it up later with trimming. I wish I made this on a bat. Let's make some cups, shall we? That's okay. I think the trick here is there's going to be a lot of trimming to kind of make things look more precise. Siblings, not twins. At the moment, they're looking very like space age-y, which I kind of like. I'm into it. The color is throwing me off. The color is going to change a lot. So in terms of the color, like I know this doesn't look like cardboard right now. I have seen this clay in person before after it's fired, but not in a really long time. This is what it's supposed to look like. Like this is supposed to be the color of it after it's fired, and I'm like, this is cardboard. This is like the perfect color. So I mean, who knows if it's gonna look exactly like that in my kiln, but that's why I decided to use this clay. I know it doesn't look like cardboard at all right now, but theoretically it's gonna look good. We have to use our imagination. So I'm gonna let these dry so that I can trim them later. And now let's make some of the slab pieces. Went a little crazy. I found a noodle shop on the internet, and I'm hoping maybe like one of these 2 is the right for making that corrugated cardboard look. I'm gonna have to experiment with them. But I do want to let some of the slab parts, specifically the spout and the handle, dry out overnight so that they can firm up and, you know, be stick straight. So I think the best thing would be to make those now. I'm just gonna experiment. I'm gonna experiment with these rollers. And how thick do we think we should make these? Let me look at his pots. I mean, his handle is so thin. Do we trust ourselves to make a 1/2 centimeter handle? I feel like, yeah, I have to, because otherwise it's gonna be obvious that it's gonna be too thick. I'm gonna try with it anyway. Okay. Where's my clay? See, this is not right because it's so slicey. It needs to be softer. So what I could do, should put some cloth down. I need it to be more round, you know? That is actually perfect though. That's what we're looking for. That almost looks like paper, like that cheap paper. I think this one. Okay, I'm going to let this all dry out now. At some point later today, I'll come in and flip these so that the bottoms can dry. But otherwise, I'm gonna let them dry. Tomorrow, everything should be leather hard and we'll get back to it. Let's take a little break to talk about today's sponsor, Squarespace. If you've never heard about Squarespace before, they are an all-in-one website platform that artists and entrepreneurs use to stand out online. I've personally been using Squarespace ever since I started my online business, and I'm still using them for my website today. There are a few things that I love about Squarespace, one of which is their online store, where you can sell pretty much anything: physical goods, online classes, services, and even memberships. 2, they just launched a really cool AI feature called Squarespace Blueprint that makes setting up your website, tailoring your brand, and optimizing for SEO even easier. And 3, once you have that online store set up, Squarespace offers really flexible payment options. So your customers can have a seamless ordering experience using PayPal, credit cards, Apple Pay, or even Afterpay. So if you're ready to take selling your pottery to the next level, or you're just looking for an online home for your art, I really recommend Squarespace because they make creating a beautiful website really easy. So head to squarespace.com right now for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/potterytothepeople for 10% off your very first website or domain. Now let's get back to the video. Okay, it's the next day. These ones have dried out perfectly. They're quite stiff now, as you can see, which is going to be helpful for keeping them straight and attaching them. These ones, I did cover them with plastic, so they're still quite wet, but this is actually perfect because when I was watching Jacques stamp the cardboard pattern into these little sticky outy parts, the clay is still quite wet. I don't even know, maybe he even did that like right after throwing, but I want to stamp that before it's even dry enough to trim because this is not trimmable. This is still quite wet. So the plan for today is we're going to stamp these guys. We're going to start making these. I don't know how far we're gonna get with that. And then I'm going to let them dry out again. Maybe I might add the extra ribbing around the bodies here, but I haven't decided yet. And then we're gonna wait till tomorrow to do the trimming and cleaning everything up because we want to actually do that at the end. Although we wanna attach these last. It's like, what to do first? I don't know. But what I do know is these guys are gonna get stamped now. We need to actually make the tool that he used to stamp them. This is like not bad. It's like squishing it up and down, which is not what we want. But I think I can just go back in and smooth it. I feel like to give the illusion, you really need to push it in deep so it catches the shadow. Then it just doesn't look like a stamp. Also, if it looks a little wonky, it just looks more cardboardy, right? You want that in-between bit to be paper thin. So it looks like paper. Well, it's not as precise as the original artist, but did any of us think that it would be? I feel pretty okay with that. Okay, let's do the rest. This is gonna take a while. So I should give my little steal like an artist disclaimer, because I know that making work like another artist's work can be a little divisive. People have a lot of opinions about it. But for the record, the whole point of this series where we make art that looks like other people's art is for education. I'm not going to start recreating these series. In fact, I'm not even going to sell these pots. These pots are going to either stay on my shelves or they're going to be gifted to friends and family. They're not going to go out into the world as if these pots were the artist's pots. This is just an homage to his incredible work. One of the things that I think that differentiates the craft world from the fine art world is that there is this history of making work that is not your own, right? This is how apprentices have been taught for centuries, and they're still taught this way today. Even in art school, like this is how I was taught. We were taught to like paint like the greats so we could learn from them. And that's all I see this as. This is just like a educational experience for me. I really wanted to try making his pots. So I figured y'all would be interested in like how realistic is it for people like us to make pots like him. Spoiler alert, he is really, really good. What the original artist does is really incredible. You know, all credit goes to him. I'm going to have his work linked down below in the description so you can go check him out. If you haven't heard of him, I don't know how, but hopefully this brings a little bit more attention and publicity his way. And yeah, thanks so much to Jacques for making such amazing work, making such inspiring work, and inspiring us all to push the boundaries of what clay can do. I have been crocheting like a madwoman lately. I'm working on a couple of different projects right now, but my wrist is, I'm feeling it in my wrist. If you want to see my crochet projects, this is like what I do every evening in front of the TV. Follow me on Instagram. That's where I post that kind of stuff. Oh, no. Okay, I am going to do some stamping up here too, but I really actually do need to wait to trim this back because this is just way too much clay up here. So I guess we'll see how it looks when it's a little bit drier, if we can continue the illusion, but I feel like I have no choice there. Okay, I think I want to try and add the ribbing in the middle here now. And even though I already rolled out some clay yesterday, I want this clay to be fresh. So I'm gonna roll out some more clay, add the texture, and we see how it looks. Oh no, this is the wrong way. This is the wrong way. The cardboard wouldn't fold like that. Ah! Okay, let's try that again. Ooh, it's just barely enough clay. Cutting it at the literal last bump. So I'm gonna just reinforce these bumps a little bit. And also this is gonna help make sure it's really stuck by using this tool here. Pretty okay with that. But my God, is this style of pottery tedious. One thing I'm still mulling over in my head is if I should attempt to to make the Scotch tape glaze bits that he has. I was digging through his Instagram to try and find his secrets, and he doesn't say anything about what kind of a glaze it is. It's obviously semi-transparent. I don't know, I feel like it's a big risk because I don't know this clay, so I don't know how my glazes look on it. And because it's the only glazed part, it could so easily detract from the whole thing. Like, it's risky. So I don't know. Like, this is surprisingly okay. One more. Okay, that was extremely tedious. I thought the stamping part would be tedious, but this part was pretty intense. I think the last thing that I need to do today is work on the additives to this, and then we're gonna let them dry out. We're gonna let them homogenize overnight, and then tomorrow I'll get back into trimming and refining. I'm going to work on these pieces, but I'm not gonna attach them yet, so attaching things is tomorrow as well. So let's do that. I can't procrastinate any longer. This is the part that I'm nervous about. Finish this up by attaching these guys. There are little squishy bits on all of these. Like, it's getting a little messy, but I can't tell if that's going to be like helpful with the overall look of it or if it's not, because it should look a little bit worn, right? I'm gonna start with this guy. I'm gonna use this picture as a reference. Why do I keep choosing these artists that are so precise? This one's scary because if I'm gonna do it like this guy, what he does is he cuts a little notch. It's gonna support it. Like if I just attach it like this, the chances of it just is very high. It's very high. So if I cut a little notch in it and it just kind of sits in there, then it can be attached on both sides. I think we can do it. There are parts that have gotten a little too crumbly from overworking it, but we'll know when it's fired. We'll know in the end. I mean, I feel like this is the best that I could do, so I'm pretty happy. Whether or not it's convincing, that is out of my hands. So I'm gonna let this dry under plastic for 24 hours so all the seams can firm up, and then I'm going to let it dry out. You can pop it in the kiln. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to try to do the glazed illusion with the tape. I have to think about that. I have to think if it's gonna work or not, because that's some high risk. Should I add a seam here? I'm gonna quickly add a seam. Cannot stop fiddling, because then we can put a little piece of tape here if I feel brave. If I feel brave later on. Okay, I'll see you in a few days. This is easily the most scared I've ever been to open a kiln. What the heck? I'm actually quite shocked here. I feel like I pulled it off. Like, there's a bit of like blushing that the clay reacted in the kiln. I think it's quite beautiful, actually. It almost looks like the cardboard is a bit dirty, I think. And what I was talking about earlier, how the pieces are getting kind of smushed, you know, it got a little irregular at certain points. I think it works. I'm really blown away. The color change has kind of just transformed them. This thing, look at this. How cool. Are we brave enough to? I mean, it's not a comfortable grip. And look, it's sort of like bent a little bit, but I think that works. I really think that works to make it look more like cardboard. It looks like a prototype. The discoloration on the bottom just looks like dirty cardboard. I'm obsessed. I can't wait to show my partner. This is so cool. God, it's always these Steal Like an Artist videos that I feel like I learn the most. I am so unbelievably excited about the results. Like I would never have come up with something like this. So really, really hats off to Jacques for basically putting his entire process online, because there's no way in heck I would have been able to reverse engineer it myself. So all props to him. Please go check him out, support him. You can even buy some of his pots, but they're probably sold out, but you could theoretically buy his work. It's amazing what clay can do. It's really amazing. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know down below in the comments what you think. Let me know if you've ever tried a technique like this, and let me know what artist I should steal from next. All right, friends, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.